Live from New York, it's Lauren Tears with a special news bulletin.
Good evening, New York. This just in, climate change continues to affect local ecosystems. This just in from our field reporter, Megan Billings. Over to you, Megan.
Thanks, Lauren. Extreme weather conditions continue in eastern New York. As you can see here, this is not normal summer weather. The Adirondacks have been intensifying for over the past decade. I can hardly hear you, Lauren. These storm patterns are being attributed to warmer temperatures. The Adirondacks continue to be on a watch list, and these weather patterns intensify. Thanks, Lauren.
I can believe the news these days trying to get us to believe in global warming. I don't believe in global warming after last winter. We had to shovel our driveway 10 times.
It's not about the weather, Grandpa. It's about the climate. Weather's what's happening right now, but the climate is what's going on in the atmosphere.
Climate?
So, Grandpa, you know how the sun heats the earth?
Yeah.
So there's 4 different ways that the sun can heat the earth. It reflects from the atmosphere. It can reflect from the oceans and bounce off the water particles there. Sometimes it can get absorbed into the ground, and sometimes it's refracted by greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. You were alive for the Industrial Revolution, right?
Well, of course I was. I'm 104 years old.
Oh, okay. So, you know how all of that coal that you guys were using then, that was the main thing?
Well, of course. Spent 50 years down in the mines.
Well, all of the carbon dioxide that's trapped in that carbon coal was released when it was burned. So that's causing problems for us now. When the sun refracts in the atmosphere onto greenhouse gases, it bounces off all of these greenhouse gases. When that happens, it traps heat. The more greenhouse gases that are in the atmosphere, the more bouncing that occurs, trapping more heat every year.
Yeah, I never learned about that in school. I remember learning about the cavemen fighting the dinosaurs. Well, Viggy, I think you should do something about this climate change in the Adirondacks. I'd join you, but it's my nap time.
You know, Grandpa, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll get a conference together, some scientists, and figure out what's going on in the Adirondacks.
You know what now?
Go to bed. Okay, scientists. Now that Grandpa is asleep, we can talk a little more in depth about what we've learned so far. Remember how we talked about the window panes in a greenhouse? In a similar sense, the Earth is a greenhouse, with the atmosphere acting as the glass panes, trapping sunlight in the form of heat. We call this the greenhouse effect, and it's a necessary component for life on Earth. Greenhouse effect could not come to be without some sort of greenhouse gas. We also talked about this. One greenhouse gas that is naturally found in the atmosphere is carbon dioxide. The light bounces off of many of these molecules and in the process converts itself to heat, much like the feeling of warmth you get when you stand in the sun. You saw this in the experiment you performed with the soda bottle atmospheres. Grandpa told us that he worked in the coal mines when he was younger. When coal is burned, it releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Since the Industrial Revolution, we have been globally pumping out tons of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases. As you saw, there's a correlation between the amount of greenhouse gases and the rise in temperature over the past 100 years. So, what kind of impacts does climate change have? Since we live by the Adirondacks, a beautiful and unique ecosystem, it is appropriate that we as concerned scientists of New York conduct a panel on what will happen to this pristine park if the global mean temperature continues to rise. Scientists, I know you're up to the challenge to find out what can happen to the Adirondacks because of climate change. Good luck, and I'll see you at the conference.
Oh yeah, dancing, yeah. Oh yeah! Dancing affects the weather, yeah! Yeah, Megan.
Yeah.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Do you believe this garbage? That news lady at the same table as us.